Ma'am, that's my reading chair. Ma'am.
It's coffee time.
Good morning, guys. Since my reading chair is obviously taken by a small cute munchkin and I cannot move her because you just don't move cats, that's a rule. So I'm starting the vlog standing, drinking my coffee. So I finally grabbed the camera and finally started a vlog. It is a miracle. I've just been really busy with my jobs, which honestly I'm grateful because I am happy that I have so much work that I am so busy, because I would much rather have too much work than not work at all, to be honest. So I'm trying just to be grateful about it and just do whatever I can with the free time that I have. So when it comes to reading this month, I've already finished 2 books, which I'm happy about, and now I am in the middle of 2 other books. So I thought I would make a quick vlog this week from Monday to Friday to let you guys know what I have been reading. First, let's talk about the bad news. I got my copy of The Curator by Owen King, and I got this beautiful edition, stunning, the cover that I wanted. I paid extra for that, and when I started reading it, I was just so disconnected from the book, the characters, the story. I was not getting into it at all. It was really confusing because there were so many things being mentioned. There was no explanation of where things came from, or it was just, I think the world building or something was missing. I was just not getting into it at all. And I made it to page, I think, 60, and I had to force myself to get to page 50. And I realized if I had to force myself to get that far, it was probably not a good decision to force myself to the end of the book. Also not really understanding what was going on because I was just not into it. And so I decided to be smart for once and I decided to DNF it. And I decided to pass the book on to someone that maybe will love it. So I also no longer have the physical copy. I was just like, you know what? This is not working. Let me give it to someone else that might actually enjoy the book, or, you know, maybe not. But made no sense for me to keep the copy. Made no sense for me to waste all my time and hours in a book that I was not enjoying at all. So I'm really proud of myself that I DNF'd the book because I normally don't. So I was really proud that I just took the decision. And of course I had to replace that read because, you know, now I had space on my TBR pile for March, and I'm also still waiting for other releases that I still have not received from Amazon, and I don't know when I'm gonna get. So for now I have decided to start reading this book here. It's called I Always Find You, and it is by the same author that wrote Let the Right One In. And since I love that one so much, it's one of my favorite vampire books, I decided I wanted to read other things by the author, and this is the only other one that I had at the moment. So this one is quite different though, because it is not just a work of fiction. It is kind of combined with the author's own personal story, which makes it really weird because the story is quite, yeah, weird. And honestly, I'm thinking all the time, did this happen for real? Is this part of what is fiction? And it is making it quite an entertaining read. I'm reading it quite fast-paced, so I feel like I do enjoy the author's way of telling a story, even though these are translated books, so it's not his original writing, but I do vibe with the way he tells stories. This is 19-year-old John that moves into an apartment, and he is hoping to have, you know, his adult life, like start of his new life. And he's a magician, so he's looking for jobs. They don't pay so well, but he's starting to, you know, he wants to make a name for himself as a magician. And he realizes that in this building that he moved into, some things are quite weird, especially the laundry room and the shower, because for the laundry and to shower and all of those things, there is like a designated room for the whole like building complex, which no thank you. I would not like to share a shower with a whole building, no thanks. So he is kind of talking about things that might fit into the paranormal, but at the same time he's telling us his story as a 19-year-old struggling to make rent and all of those things, and coming of age a little bit, because even though you're 19, there's still a lot of things that you don't know about life and how everything works. So far I'm really enjoying it. I don't know if the horror is going to be intense in this one or not, or if it's going to stay like this. I don't know what else we're going to find out in this shower room. There's some sort of like black goo that he has seen there, that's all I know. And because Amazon has also not shipped my other 2 pre-orders that I had for March, and we are already on the 20th of March, I have to replace those 2. So fun fact, I was looking through my Amazon orders for the whole year looking for something when I realized that there was a book that I pre-ordered in January and I never received. And so I contacted support, and they have finally shipped it to me, and that is this book here. It's called One Girl in All the World by Kendra Blake. This is the 2nd book on the series after In Every Generation, and these are books inspired by Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the TV show, and she's taking a spin a little bit on the story. She's keeping the main characters from the show, but she's adding a younger generation of slayers and werewolves and all that cool stuff, and witches. And I did enjoy the first one. It was not like a 5-star read for me, but I really enjoyed it, and I think it's part as well of the nostalgia of returning to Buffy the Vampire Slayer and those characters that I always have loved. And I do like to see the new generation, and you know, to hear about these stories fighting vampires, and sometimes it reads as if you would be watching a Buffy the Vampire Slayer episode, and that makes it fun. So even though they are not perfect, I really enjoyed the first one, so I decided to pick up the second one since it's here now. I should have received this in January, but no. So good thing that I was going through my orders, otherwise I would have never received this book, paid for it, and never remembered to complain or whatever. It's so weird. But anyways, I have it now, so I will be reading this one this month as well. And the other one that I received is one that I am so excited about, and it was a pre-order that this one did make it to me on time, and I'm really happy because it is Eric Slamarka new book. It is The Trees Grew Because I Bled There. And I saw Amazon, fun fact, I was looking for a hardcover copy of this, and they had 2 options. They had a regular hardcover that was more expensive than this one, and they had this hardcover which was a signed copy, and it was cheaper. And I'm like, I think the choice is quite clear. I'm gonna get the cheaper one, which also has Eric's signature, and I have never met Eric in real life. I do have a couple of signed books that he sent to me, like his first books, but I thought, you know, it would be nice to have a new release by him, also signed by the author. So these are the 3 books that I'm going to be reading for these 5 weeks that I'm going to be vlogging, and I hope you will enjoy the vlog. And sadly it's Monday morning, which means I have to work now, and I'll see you guys later. This is also how I work every day now with baby boy. He's helping, not. He's so needy, right baby boy? Yes. Yeah. Excuse me. Is this how you spend your Mondays? Morby, what's happening? What a life, you guys. What a life. So today the weather has been absolute crap. So now that the rain has kind of stopped for maybe 5 minutes, I'm gonna rush to the post office to ship some packages and to another store to get more envelopes because I'm still selling a lot of things. I'm still downsizing collections and getting rid of a lot of stuff. So I need to refill my envelopes section because I'm empty. I don't have any more. Yeah, so I'm gonna do that. When I'm back home, I'll have to have lunch, finish work and all of that, and hopefully I'll find some time today to read. Mondays are always complicated, always complicated. Hello, we have finished work. I'm tired. And I do still have to do some household things. It's like, you know, when you finish work, there's still more work to do, like around the house and stuff like that, especially when you have 4 cats and 2 birds. It's a lot of maintenance, plus a garden maintenance. It's nice to have a garden, but maintenance. So before chores and dinner and all of that, I want to squeeze in a little bit of reading. So I don't know if I should focus maybe on the 2 books that I still have not started. So I feel like since Eric LaRocca's book is a compilation of short stories, I will try to read 1 story. And then I want to start One Girl in All the World, book 2, on the new Buffy series by Kendare Blake, because I still have not started this one and I would like to finish it before the end of the month. So I feel like we're gonna read a little bit from these 2, which, you know, blood red. They both have the same vibe. They're naked books. I don't read my hardbacks with their covers on. It's just, I just can't. So let's dig into them. So these are 8 different stories. There's an introduction and stuff, and they are body horror stories. Body horror is something that Eric LaRocca writes really well about. So I'm really excited to be disgusted by the book. That is what I read this for, just to be disgusted by it. Let's dig into it. I'll read the introduction, and the first story is called You Follow Wherever They Go. Update. It is time to update you guys before I go and be an adult and take care of things. But I have managed to read the first story on Eric LaRocca's short story compilation, You Follow Wherever They Go. It was very short, but I loved it. It was sad and creepy. It was not as disturbing as others, but we shall see what the rest of the stories have to bring me. And then I read a little bit from One Girl in All the World. I didn't read too much, like 3 chapters or so, so I still don't know too much. All I know is that, as we know, the Hellmouth was always under Sunnydale's high school, and when they had to rebuild the high school and the town basically after what happened, they decided to rebuild it again, the high school, on top of the Hellmouth, which smart. And the first chapter talks about a vampire that has just arrived at Sunnydale. He's always heard these legends about you know, the Hellmouth and Sunnydale High School, and he wanted to see it by himself. And also we are getting introduced again to Frankie and all her friends, the werewolf and everybody, the vampire slayers, and I'm expecting it to be fun. So yeah, that's all I've read so far, but you know, it has the same tone as the first book, so if you've enjoyed the first one so far, I think you will enjoy this one as well. In the first book, if you have not read it, because I cannot go into too much spoilers about the second book, I'm also not gonna spoil the first book for everybody. So In Every Generation was the first book in the series, and we meet Frankie. Frankie is Willow's daughter, and Willow is one of the most powerful witches, and she was one of my favorite characters of the show as well. So Frankie is having her normal life as a sophomore in high school when they received the news that one of the last Slayer meetings, convention things that they do, has suffered an attack, and everybody that was there, they don't know now if they survived or if they died during the attack. So it is decided that it is time for a new generation, and a new Slayer needs to be born, and they want Frankie to be the new vampire Slayer, but she's also the daughter of a witch, so she's going to be the ever first Slayer witch, which is an interesting thing. and it adds a little bit, you know, to the character development and the choices that she has to make in order to become this new chosen slayer. So she has to take a lot on her shoulders. She has to prevent the Hellmouth to be opened again. She has to learn how to fight against the vampires, being a slayer and all of that. And you see some of that during the first book. And of course you see her fighting against vampires, and you know, you see the Scooby Gang get into really dangerous situations. And like I said, it was fun. Of course, for me, I loved a lot the moments where they were talking about all the characters from the show, like Spike, which is also one of my favorite ones. So that's what had a little bit more of nostalgia for me. And so far the second one I haven't read much, but it's still kind of on the same line. We're still at Sunnydale, and even though the first book was not like a 5-star favorite book for me, I find a lot of comfort in these books. I find comfort returning to Sunnydale and the Buffyverse. So yeah, I'm happy that I decided to read this one after that awful DNF that left a little bitter taste in my mouth because I hate the DNF books. So at least I'm happy that this one is bringing me a little bit of comfort. Good morning, guys, to a new day in the Netherlands. Gloomy, as you can see, but today is Tuesday. So I've been working for a couple of hours and now we're gonna go to the gym. I'm trying to get my groove back with the gym after January hit me, and I was going through a lot of things, like personally and mentally. I was like physically and mentally, I was just not in the right space for like a month and a half or something. And that month and a half I did not work out, plus, you know, the December holidays where I was in Spain, I also didn't go to the gym. So it has been hard to go back to the gym and just, you know, start back with lower weights and just like get back into it. But I'm on it, and I have been recovering a lot of my PRs, which means personal records. So I'm getting back to the kilos that I was lifting before everything happened. So I just gotta keep motivating myself and reminding myself that it doesn't matter how much you lift. The important thing is that you show up for yourself. So that's what I'm gonna do. I am going currently 3 to 4 times a week instead of like 5 or 6. So I'm allowing myself, you know, to slowly get back on track instead of overwhelming myself. Also, today is one of my favorite days because it is shoulders and triceps day, and I love training shoulders. So we're gonna go and do that, and then probably have to work for a couple more hours. A lot of things to get done today, and hopefully I will find like spaces of time here and there to catch up on our reads as well. Meanwhile, my cats are living the best life. Hello. Good day, you guys. Today it is Wednesday, and I didn't plan today to be as busy as it has been, but here we are. So today I obviously had to work, went to the post office, had a meeting, and now we're ready to sit down and read a little bit. Last night, as you have seen by the footage, I joined Amy during her live reading sprints, but I was so tired last night that I started to fall asleep during the second sprint. And also the light on my reading room was going on and off. It was flickering and going on and off all the time, which spooked me a little bit, and I was like, something's going on tonight. So anyways, I managed to get some reading done, and now I'm gonna sit down to read a little bit from the 3 books that we are currently reading. And also at the same time, I want to keep organizing this room, which is the content creation room / where I hoard my horror collection. I am downsizing a lot of things. I am mostly keeping things that are horror, and I am creating a shelf for some horror collectibles, which I'm currently sorting out. So it's still all a mess, but I'm making progress slowly but surely.
here is a little sneak peek of the horror shelf I'm trying to build with some of my collectibles. Yeah, it's all unorganized and kind of just smashed together, but here are some of my horror collectibles that I have been putting together behind glass now that I finally have this little shelf here, free of books, so that I can put some of my horror collectibles. And I finally have this reading chair here, which is mostly occupied by my cats, but now I have this reading chair, which is great for when I'm doing reading sprints, things like that, or if I just want to chill and read a book here. But there's still so many things that I need to organize in this room, and I would like to make a room tour soon, so hopefully I manage to get it sorted soon. And also here is where my movie collection is. These are all horror movies. All the things you see here are horror movies, all of them. So I also plan on reorganizing, maybe sorting some out, upgrading to Blu-rays from the DVDs, things like that. And I have this huge wall here, and I want to put more shelves and put some more collectibles on this side. But still, since we moved, this room has been a work in progress. So hopefully 2023 is the year that I finish this room. Hey Morbius. He's always there with the horror collectibles. Especially he likes Jason a lot. Yeah. 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 Say hello. I think first we're gonna start with another short horror story by Eric LaRocca, because I wanted to read a short horror story last night during the sprints, but like I said, I didn't make it to the last sprint because I was falling asleep. So let's read one of these first. And the next one that I have to read is called Bodies Are for Burning. I think I've already read this one, at least the title. It's very familiar to me, so I'm gonna start reading and see if I have already read this one. Alright guys, so I've confirmed my suspicions. I thought these titles of the short horror stories were really familiar to me, but I thought at the beginning it was because all of Eric's titles for his short stories are dark like this and they sound twisted like this, and I thought maybe a couple were repeats, but I have just double checked on my Eric LaRocca's collection, and I can tell you that these are one-to-one. So these are The Strange Thing We Become and Other Dark Tales, which can no longer be purchased. So they have reissued and rebranded the tales under this one, The Trees Grew Because I Bled There. So these are the same stories. If you already have this one, then you already have everything that's in here apart from the introduction by Chuck Wendig. But that's it. I was gonna purchase it anyways because I want to have my Eric LaRocca collection and I wanted this hardcover signed copy of it. But if you already have read this one and you are not a collector like me, I guess, or obsessed with Eric, then you do not need this one. But since I've already read all the short stories that are in here, and I might still be able to squeeze in a book before the end of the month, I think we're gonna change to a different book. I'm also hosting reading sprints together with Amy tomorrow over in her channel. I'm gonna join her again, but this time I'm gonna be with her in the live show, so that might push me as well to get some more reading done. So I feel like I can go through my shelves and pick up another book to read before the month ends. I'm not gonna pick a book that is too long because I'm also being realistic. And I still have to finish these other two, but I feel like I can squeeze in one more small book. So I have been reading a little bit of I Always Find You, and I think my issue with this book is that even though I like the story, it's not really hooking me anymore. I feel like at the beginning I was more engaged than now. I'm currently on page 178, and I feel like part of that is also because this book, first of all, is not divided in chapters. There's just like little marks that let you know that the paragraphs end and stuff like that, but there is no separation in chapters. And normally I don't like that in books. I like to have end chapter and a beginning. And the other thing is that the author is kind of telling his life story but turning it into almost weird fiction, and you don't know anymore which things are real and which things are not. And I feel like the story's not completely grabbing me as it should. I feel like the part that it's a little bit more for the horror and the weird experiences that the author had that he wanted to portray in the novel are not having the impact, I guess, that they should. That being said, even though I'm a little bit disappointed, I guess, because I'm not loving it as much as I loved Let the Right One In, because Let the Right One In for me is a 5-star, no questions asked. This one, it's more of a 3 at the moment, but I'm still gonna get more things by the author. I feel like I only have an issue with this one because of the fact that it's telling his story a little bit, and I guess I'm not so interested in his life. Wow, so rude. And maybe it's also because the horror is not something that works for me in this case. I don't know. So that's my tea. That's the tea for today. So sadly, I'm not enjoying this one as much as I was hoping. And then I'm gonna read a little bit more of One Girl in All the World. I didn't make much progress last night because I was falling asleep, like I said, so I only made it to page 50 on this one. So I think now I'm gonna read a bit more of these, then decide which other book I am sporadically adding to my TBR, even though we are at the end of the month. But the 2 other books that I was hoping to get from Amazon are not gonna be delivered on time anyway, so I'm gonna have to push those for further in the year. So yeah, that's the plan for the rest of the day, and we shall see how much reading I get done, because it's currently, hold on, 6 p.m. so I still need to wait. It's Wednesday, so we are gonna have dinner watching the new episode of The Mandalorian season 3 on Disney Plus. And we shall see what I do after. Sometimes we just watch a movie or Supernatural, because I also, you know, like to spend time with my partner at night. He also works all day and goes to the gym, and so we mostly only see each other in the late evening / nighttime. So I don't know how much more reading I'm gonna get done today, but I'll get back to you. Well, you guys, I was just looking for a book to add to my March TBR pile when Amazon knocked at my door and delivered 3 books, and one of them is one of the ones that I wanted to read in March if I got the book on time. So here we are. It was basically destiny. The books that I got were this one, Bloody Fool for Love. This is by William Ritter, and it is a Spike prequel. So it is a story about Spike from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. This went finally on sale on Amazon, so I decided to grab it. Then another one that was on my wish list and went on sale is Charlotte Says by Alex Bell, and this is the prequel from Frozen Charlotte, but this was published after, so I am reading the prequel after Frozen Charlotte because I like to read books in publication order if it's a series, duology, or whatever it is. So even though this is a prequel, I'm gonna read it after. And the other book that I received is the book that I'm planning to read still on March. I'm gonna try my best because it's not the shortest book, but I'm hoping it's going to be a fast-paced read. It is a YA thriller that I already saw announced at YOG 2022, and I was already excited about it, so I'm really excited I finally have a copy, and that is This Book Kills by Ravena Guron. And I don't know much about this, but I know it takes place at a school and there is a murder mystery involved, and you know, that's exactly what I need right now. So I'm gonna be starting this one as well today. This one has a total of 381 pages. So it's a little bit of a chunkier book. I was hoping to find a book with maximum 300 pages because the month of March is approaching its end. Today is the 22nd. But I'm gonna push myself through this one because I'm really excited for this. I've been wanting to read more YA this year, and so far I've been trying to read at least one YA per month to, you know, catch up with a lot of things. Also, I'm trying to read new releases or newish releases. I believe this is a 2023 publication. So yeah, I'm really excited for this, and I have the sprints with Amy tomorrow. Plus, I should have time this weekend to read, so I have faith in me. I hope I can finish this one. Hello you guys, so I decided to finish the vlog on the garden, and I completely forgot to vlog on Thursday. So it's Friday at the moment, and the weather in the Netherlands is like all 4 seasons in one day. 1 minute is raining, the next minute is sunny, then you get like snow. It's just crazy. But I just wanted to give you an update on the books that I was reading. So One Girl in All the World, I'm currently on page around 200, and I'm really enjoying it. It is funny because I feel like I'm loving it even more than book 1, which is weird to love a sequel more than the original. And I'm quite shocked. I think it's because maybe I needed to get used to the new characters, and I'm still loving the old characters so much. I feel like Spike in this one is spot on, all his comments, I love it. So I'm having such a good time with this one. All I want to do is keep reading it. So I'm really excited, but also sad because when I finish it, I'm gonna have to wait for a long time for the next one. And the other one that I was reading is This Book Heals by Ravenna Guron. I'm on page 146 and still really loving it as well. This one is just a fast-paced, entertaining. This is based on a school mostly for rich kids, and our main character is not rich. She just got a scholarship, and her family comes originally from India, but she was born in London, and she has always felt out of place in this school. Now on top of that, somebody has been murdered and there is a long list of suspects and possible people that might have had reasons for killing this guy, and it's told from the first person perspective, and the first chapter already tells you this guy has died, and you know, then we go into what happened, how his body was discovered, possible suspects, and our main character is kind of trying to figure out who killed him, and she has her own like ways of trying to investigate. This is the neighbor's cat. And I'm really excited to get to the end and discover who killed this guy, and why I feel like that's the best part about mystery thrillers, but at the same time is the part that scares me the most, because what if I get to the end and I don't like, you know, the how they resolve the murder and everything. But so far it's really entertaining and fast-paced, and I'm really having a good time with it. So that was my weekly vlog, you guys, from Monday to Friday, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I find the strength to keep vlogging more often and let you guys know what I'm thinking about the books that I'm reading. Next month in April, I'm going to be participating in Old School April, which I'm really excited about, and I already have my TBR, which is really ambitious. I will be sharing that with you guys shortly as well. But I also hope to vlog and do some kind of old school 80s, 90s thing. So keep tuned for that, and I'll see you all guys in the next coffee time. Bye.